Part of me stepping into the energy business is a lot of people looking and going, well, she's not an engineer, she's not technical, where she come from, why people think she would have worked where she is. And it's simply because there are so many technical people on my team that I would be one more voice, whereas my job now is to coordinate everybody and say, all right guys, what's the goal? Let's see where we go here. And there's a lot of room in Belize for qualified managers and good, strong leaders that say, let's focus on the end goal, let's not get distracted by the noise. First of all, sustainable energy is so important to Belize. We're well on the way. I think people don't realize how far ahead of other countries we are in providing green energy, clean energy, and sustainable energy. These are overlapping but not necessarily all the same thing. But in doing hydroelectric power as we provide and biomass, instead of just throwing away the bagasse, you're creating energy from it. In looking at solar, in looking at the possibilities for wind and this kind of thing. What we already have on the grid is far surpassing our siblings in the Caribbean and is right up there with Latin America. There's one or two countries ahead of us in Latin America, but we're up there. This is something that I think we Belizeans need to be more proud of. I think it's exciting. And what's happening in the world of renewable energy at the moment is extremely exciting. The discussion, if you get into it, is endless, and it's so multifaceted, and it's highly strategic. You don't make a decision to slap two solar panels together and say, all right, I've done it. It has to be applicable to the task at hand. So that makes it extremely strategic, which for me is exciting because I'm that kind of nerd. Me bringing what I have to the energy space is simply saying, I think the future for Belize is extremely bright. And innovation is another thing that I find myself very passionate about because I think we underestimate our capacity in Belize to innovate, not just in the energy space, all around. And here, walking into this allows us to innovate, do well for our country, do well for our people, provide jobs, grow the economy. I mean, it's endless what sustainable energy can do. So for me, when I was approached about it, it was a no-brainer to say, let's give this a shot, let's see how it goes. I think as we look at Belize's development, we have got to not marginalize everybody. We've got to include everybody in the conversation. We've got to include everybody in what goes forward. Half the country can't do all the work. So any job for a man is a job for a woman. Any job for a woman is a job for a man. It works both ways. And I had a male friend of mine say to me, this gender thing is all about women, what about us men? To be honest with you, there is no reason a woman can't do what men do in the energy business. And in fact, we're very proud. For years, we've had an all-male team when it comes to the operations and maintenance of our plants. Just about a couple of weeks ago, we hired our first operation and maintenance technician who is female, and we're very excited about that, and we hope that it's the first of many. And in respect of that, diversity, equity, and inclusion is critically important. And I said I wouldn't stay on gender, and I mean it because you've got to look at total equality and never look at somebody and say and assume for them that they can't do something. And I would say, if you're sitting there watching this conversation later on, anybody who's listening to it should realize the word can't is the only barrier that holds you back. Because if you say you can, and you are determined to do it, you will climb over a hill, a mountain, a cliff, whatever, and you will make it happen. And the success stories are there to prove that. I don't want anybody to tell their little girl, oh, you should only play with dolls, you should learn to bake cakes, learn to do cosmetology. If that's the way your child is inclined, go there strong. If she loves to do hair and all this kind of thing, that's fine. I'm not putting down that profession. But what I'm saying is, if your child, your little girl wants to go out there and play in the oil that dad's changing in the car and learn how dad's doing it and this kind of thing, that's perfectly fine too. If mom's changing the oil, so much the better. But the whole idea is that if every single citizen of this country feels empowered to move the country forward, just imagine what could happen.